Hello, and thanks for stopping by. Today we'll be discussing how to get the internet speed widget for AwesomeWM. So two things you need before we get started is your rc.lua file and a package called ifstat. And what ifstat does is that it outputs your download speed and your upload speed. And it does it in a very simplified way. So simple in fact that we only have to use one line of code. But I will warn you that this is a long line of code. Anyway, once you've got that, we'll go ahead and get started. So you'll want to go to s.mywebox:/setup in your rc.lua file. This is where we'll be adding widgets to the Webox. And you can add it in your left widgets, your middle widgets, or even your right widgets. And I chose to add mine in my right widgets. And what you're going to want to put down is mynet, comma. And we're setting up this variable now so that we can go back up and put in what we need to into our variable. Don't worry about the curly brackets. Don't worry about the BG. Don't worry about the widget. Don't worry about the shape, and don't worry about the shape clip. That is specifically for my theming. Next, you're going to want to go up here to WeBar. For context, you'll see menu bar configuration, keyboard map indicator, and then WeBar. And we're going to scroll all the way down past my widgets to add this line of code. Because as you may know, I have added several widgets to this rc.lua file by now. So it's getting kind of crowded. And this is why we're adding this to the end of it. I call it internet speed widget. And so here's our variable, mynet. And we're setting that to equal awful.widget.watch because we're going to be watching for a command in bash. And so in parentheses and curly brackets, we're going to put in double quotes bash, then comma, double quotes -c, comma, and then we're going to put all this line of code in double quotes. ifstat -i, which stands for input, enp11s0. Now this may be different for you as far as this enp11s0 goes. So what I would do is check ifstat and see what this says. Whatever this says, you copy this and then paste it into your rc.lua file. And you'll want to paste it right here where I have this highlighted. 1s stands for 1 second. 1 is for 1 line. You'll pipe that into tail. -n stands for number of lines. And then you'll want to put 1. And the reason you want to put 1 is because for some reason, whenever you run this code by itself, it wants to add it 4 or 5 times. So we want to limit that to 1. And then we're going to pipe all of that into awk. And in single quotes and curly brackets, we've got if statements. So if $1 is less than 1 and $2 is less than 1, then we're going to print f, and here I have put a download speed icon, space %.0fb, and that B stands for bytes. Then for this upload speed, I added an icon, space $.0fb, again for bytes. Because this if statement is specifically to let you know how many bytes are being used. Because these numbers read out as kilobytes. And for our first part of this if statement, we want to be able to convert it into bytes if it goes under 1. So you comma inside that printf, $1 times 1000, comma, $2 times 1000. Because again, we're converting from kilobytes to bytes, and you have to times it by 1000 in order to get the proper reading. Else, if $1 is greater than or equal to 1000, or $2 is greater than or equal to 1000. So in other words, we need to know if our kilobytes equal 1000 or up. And if it does, then we're going to print f. We'll add our icons to our download speed and upload speed. But this time we're going to put a %.2f MB, and that's going to stand for megabytes. And it's going to give us the number with our integer having a decimal and whatever comes after it. So then we'll comma that $1 divided by 1000, comma, $2 divided by 1000. And if I haven't said this before, our $1 is our download speed and our $2 is our upload speed. And we want to divide this by 1000 because we're converting kilobytes to megabytes. And the way that we do that is that we divide it by 1000. Else, if $1 is greater than or equal to 1 million, or $2 is greater than or equal to 1 million. And the reason we put a million is because now we're converting it to gigabytes. Because some of you may have fast internet speeds, faster than mine I should say, that go past a gig. And so I want to accommodate for that in the code. Then we'll print f with our icons, space %.2fgb. And then we'll comma that $1 divided by 1 million, comma $2 divided by 1 million. because in order to convert kilobytes into gigabytes, we need to divide it by 1,000,000. Else, in other words, if none of those conditions are met, then we're going to fall back on this printf. We have our icons, we have our space, our %.2f, but this time we're going to put KB. We'll comma that, $1, comma, $2. We close off that curly bracket, close off our if statement, close off our single quotes, close off our double quotes, and then close off our curly bracket. And then we're going to comma 1. That is our interval. So every 1 second it goes off, and then we'll close our parentheses. So yeah, that is a long line of code, but we do this because we want to change it depending upon whether it's kilobytes, megabytes, or gigabytes. And we want this to be an automatic process. And now we've come full circle. So if you found this video helpful, make sure to leave a like and subscribe, and I shall see you guys in the next video.